Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Today, we continue our top 100 favorite movies ever. This is part 7, the 30s, 30 through 39. It's heating up. It's all good. It's all our favorites, you know. I like a lot more than 100 movies. I love every single movie on this list. But we're getting to the tippity-toppity top of it all. And I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. As I said, top 100 favorite movies ever. If this is your first time joining us on this project, and in general, shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. I would recommend going back and listening to the first 6 parts of this project. You know, get the full list. Why not get the full list? But you know, to each their own. If that's not something you're going to do, all the power to you. We just want to let you know that this is top 100 favorites. It's subjective. Film is a subjective medium. And we decided to treat it as such. Neither me or Joe are equipped to tell you the top 100 best movies of all time, as I don't think anyone properly is. You're always going to be slanted by your taste, and I think why not lean all the way into that, and let's just hit the ground fucking running. Do you have any honorable mentions? Any first watches? Anything that happened between this week, last week, and this week that kind of reframed stuff for you?
For me, it was some rewatches, actually. No new first watches, but rewatches of films that have still yet to be named that made sure. I mean, I'm like, solidified their place in the list.
Yeah.
For me.
No, I get you. I've had a few. Trying to recall if I would have mentioned this one last week. I don't think I would have. Watch a lot of movies, so I'm like, I don't know exactly when. I watched the movie Black Narcissus. Does that sound familiar? Did I mention that at all?
No, I have not heard of that one yet.
That is, it was released in 1947. It is directed by Pressburger and Powell, who also did A Matter of Life and Death, which was earlier on my list. It was Technicolor dream sort of thing, and Black Narcissus is one of the best looking movies of all time. It did not disappoint. I don't know if it would have breached my top 100, but it earned a spot in like the theoretical favorite movies ever sort of deal.
Okay.
Some others I did rewatch a couple that were going to be this week and are no longer this week. But I also rewatched some that were this week and stayed this week. So it kind of it some of them just earned that climb up. I also, for the first time, I rewatched Fight Club for the first time in almost a decade.
Yeah.
Almost certainly would have made the top 100. Ocean's 11, that was a first watch. Probably would have made the top 100. I've dug into some Fincher with that Fight Club rewatch, Gone Girl. 1000% would have made the top 100 here. I loved that movie. No Country for Old Men would have made my top 100. That's a Coen Brothers movie.
That is a good one.
Yeah, that would have made my top 100. Carol, 2015, directed by Todd Haynes, who actually has a movie coming out in December on Netflix called May December. It's got Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara as a couple of women out of just a bit ahead of their time. 1950s. They want each other. They have each other. It affects other aspects of life. Oh, your morals are all wackety-doo. You like women and you are a woman. Like a very good movie, though. Carol, strongly recommend. And then the last one that I watched finished earlier today, The Master, which was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. It stars It stars Philip Seymour Hoffman, Joaquin Phoenix, and Amy Adams. That was a bizarre one, and one that I highly recommend. So a bunch of first watches, bunch of stuff that I'm very happy with. But they would have made the list, but we're in too deep now, buddy. Can't go
Yeah, we are.
accent anything else.
This is definitely a living document, and it's just solidified just because we made it at a time and we decided we need to do this top 100. You know, at some point we need to get it down on paper because it will change, and eventually
it does, and it'll keep changing, man. Yeah. It'll keep changing, and we'll revisit this topic eventually. Shit, I'd be willing to bet we could revisit this topic in literally 1 year and it'd be different. But we're gonna give it a little more time to breathe than that, I think. But if you want to take us on in with your 39, I'm ready for you.
All right. Well, 39 has already been said from you. This was a 52-year journey movie, and it's a hard one to watch. And I guess it lowered it a little bit because initially I had this pretty high up. But a hard scene to watch. But I think it's a movie that impacted me like no other at the time, like going through it. And it was Dead Poets Society by Peter Weir. And just, I mean, like I think when you brought it up, you said like it just has like a very difficult scene to get through, so it always makes it a difficult watch. And like I feel like that just like that speaks to the movie more than like anything. Like it's like you still want to watch that movie even though you know what comes. And then like it's just, I don't know, it's such a memorable movie. Like just on every, like on so many levels.
Every aspect, man. I love that movie. And like when I said it, if I had rewatched it more recently, almost certainly would have been higher. But there were some that I had to let lie. I even have a couple of those this episode, where I was like, these would probably climb if I rewatched them, but I'm just going to leave them there. I'm just going to let them sit. I'm comfortable with that. Dead Poets Society, man. Robin Williams, Ethan Hawke, Robert Sean Leonard. Is that his name, or is it Sean Robert? It's Robert Sean Leonard.
Robert Sean Leonard as Neil.
Dude, just overwhelmingly heartwarming and heart-wrenching movie. Both happen, like just a devastating film, man. What a good one, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember like them in the caves, the whole like kind of Dead Poets, like Robin Williams just saw in Neil. He's like, kind of saw himself in the, it was like a shut down or whatever, hasn't really been a thing. But then he kind of like brought it back to life, like their secret club and everything. Yeah. Just like, although like, I don't know, like I've never been to a private school like that at all. But like, I don't know why it was just like a really cool thing to think about as like, just like I don't know, it's just the boys getting together in a cave. And a few girls came actually too. I don't know. I guess there are a few girls there. But just like a coming of age story.
It was after they'd already met there, that they could impress the girls that they were with. Poetry, it's you don't say it falls from your tongue like honey. Like that whole thing. He's dude, I love me some Robin Williams. It's that is a special fucking movie, man. And it only becomes more and more special, and it's got a timelessness to it, There's that movie's from 1989.
Yeah, that is nuts. Looking at that, that's, I don't know, crazy. Like
it could have been 15 years ago.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of what surrounded that, like on the 52-year journey project.
We had Totoro the year before, Goodfellas the year after.
Okay. Wow. You're that good with the years? That's crazy.
I am. I got that. When it comes to the 52-year journey through film movies, I've got those down. I think in theory I could go from 1970 through 2022 and tell you every single movie.
Damn, that's nuts. I gotta, like, I always like kind of just pinball, like I know certain years, like Star Wars 77. That's like in my brain. Like I don't know if you like few of those, but like I don't know.
I made the graphics for them, and I put the year on every single one of them. I
Yeah.
looked at them
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
I've looked at them. Like it's just all of those are kind of ingrained in my brain at this point. I had to type it out so many fucking times, you know. So like there are still a few that slip through the cracks though. Like there are a few that I can't remember if it's like 83 or 86 or if it's usually that like 73, 76. It's 3 and 6 for some reason. I can't sometimes I can't keep up with it.
That's far better than I can do. I don't know. I only know just a handful. I don't know why.
I think no, that's a good place to start the list on this episode, man. That's one that makes you feel a lot. And I will not be starting my list with one that makes you feel a lot. It's more just like a wow. This is a good fucking movie. It's a good fucking movie. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, and you don't even have the courtesy to call me the Godfather. The Godfather at 39 for me. 1972, directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
Not too far off.
No, not at all. Not at all. You only had it a couple spots ago at 41. And every reasoning you had behind it, I fully sympathized with. You know, it's such a good movie that you can't leave it off the list. And it's good enough to climb to a certain extent. But when it comes to that feeling, I don't get that. Like, I don't get hardly any feeling watching that movie besides just kind of awe, you know, at the performances, at the photography. It's just an excruciatingly well made movie more than anything, and that'll take you high, but it can only take you so high. And I went ahead and put it at 39. This is even one that I started a rewatch and was like, I'm good. I know this movie. You know, like I know this movie now, and that's okay. I got about an hour in, or not an hour in. Like I turned it on and I started working on like graphics and stuff for the podcast, and I was like, yeah, people are gonna think this is fucking blasphemous. I think The Godfather is a wonderful background movie. It's got it's a wonderful aesthetic. I think once you've seen it, you got it. You know. And like I said, Marlon Brando, the performances in that movie are fucking brilliant. Al Pacino is so goddamn good. This will not be my only Al Pacino movie of the episode either, by the way.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, no, the difference, you know, pretty close on our list, but I had Barbie above mine, and you had it two spots below, which is interesting.
Yes, indeed.
And I don't know, I thought it was going to be Barbie on digital today. Apparently they're pushing it back.
They announced that like literally last night, the day before it was supposed to come. I was so fucking pissed. I didn't see. I stayed up until 11. I was gonna stay up till 11 anyway, but I was looking like I saw that tweet at 9:30 a.m. and the entire fucking day I was going, God, I can't wait to watch Barbie tonight.
Nope. Yep.
Nope.
Gotta wait. You know, they're putting that IMAX. You know, they're doing another IMAX release. So
I'll probably go ahead and see it. IMAX.
Probably gonna make them go like 1.4 billion. I don't know. It's gonna maybe like
it's gonna boost the numbers a bit. But yeah, no.
But man. Do you think Barbie ever does go above The Godfather for you? Like, do you think
I'm very confident? You know, there's a certain aspect to, you know, Barbie does make me feel things. It did make me like. It made me cry the one time I saw it in the cinemas. You know, like it's. The Godfather's never made me cry. You know, it hasn't. It's a good fucking movie, but it hasn't made me cry. And I will not try to sell The Godfather short. I do think The Godfather's a better made movie, and I don't think there's any chance I'll ever think.
Yeah, I don't think anyone denies the craft.
Oh no. The Godfather's one of the best movies ever. Yeah. Just period. But I think the second time I watch Barbie, it will elevate above The Godfather. Like I truly think that. I think that if I watch that movie again, it will probably. I don't know how high it could rise, but I think it could. I think it would easily have slipped into this episode instead of 41.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Godfather. You said it. You're like, you said it last week, and I was like, I'm not far off by any means. I'm right there.
I mean, it's still 41. like
That's
that
top
is
50, man.
yeah.
There are thousands of movies.
That tens of thousands. Is there?
Gotta be.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably.
They've been
Man,
making movies. Citizen Kane, as of the date of recording, which is yesterday for those listening now, Tuesday. 82 years ago today, Citizen Kane was released.
82. Holy shit.
So, like, that's a lot. Even if you did 100 movies per year for 82 years, which is definitely the case, you're reaching thousands there. So, like,
yeah, that's a lot of movies. Dang. I wonder if there is like a total count. And like what classifies like a movie? Like, could it be any movie that anyone puts out? Is it just a time thing? Is it I don't know. I don't know if like any like just fan made movies would count, but
I think they do. If it was put to film and created, it's a movie.
It's just like
might
a
not
book.
be good.
Yeah, it's just a book, but in visual form.
There you go.
Is all it is.
Yeah, but I started my list with The Godfather, 39.
Okay, well, moving on. I have a spotlight movie here. And it was one I was really excited to get to on the spotlight. It's a Nolan, and I don't even think it made your list, actually, I think. But this is where I have The Prestige from Nolan.
Ah, yes.
With Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman. It's just I don't know, I think it might have been like the real first Nolan movie I got into. I mean, it did come out in like 2006. I don't know like when the first time I watched it was, but like I was super into magic at the time, like just card tricks and like watching magicians on YouTube and stuff and how it was all done. So that was like a ticker. I was super obsessed with Nikola Tesla, and just having him be like David Bowie in the movie is just like badass.
Awesome.
And then it's just like, I think at the time, I don't know, I feel like I knew Christian Bale was Batman though, for some reason. So I don't know. I don't know if that's conflicting thoughts or I don't know. But I don't know. I just remember being like really taken away with this movie, and I don't know. I like Nolan. I've become much a fan of him after doing the Spotlight. And I don't know. This one was just one that I was pre-exposed to, well in like just beforehand, and I just got a lot of watches of it, and I don't know. I love the back and the plot twists just keep unraveling and keep going bigger and bigger, and
fuck yeah! Is this your second Nolan of 5? I'm assuming.
Think I did. I've said Dunkirk. I remember. Yeah. I know that. I think that's the only one I've said so far.
I think so too. Because I've got three more that I'm surefire are above The Prestige on your list.
Yeah.
I've got two. I've got 2 more, and they are both above where you have The Prestige on this list. And I know you like one more movie a bit more than I did.
There are indeed 3. One a little closer, and then 2 that shoot quite a way up. But this. I don't know. Nolan's kind of very spread out for me, I guess, because I had Dunkirk down at like. Let's see.
It was a while back.
Yeah, there's some more movies. I thought it was there. It wasn't. Am I missing? Oh, there it is. 58. Actually.
Yeah, a couple episodes back.
So, yeah. Okay. Man, that's great. Yeah, that is 2 episodes ago. Yeah, upper half. So, but yeah, no. Won't hear another Nolan until next episode, midway through. But yeah, only Nolan of this episode for me. We got some other big name directors as well. So I don't know, this one is all over the place. That's for sure.
I dig it. Yeah, I'm onto a pretty big name director with my next one. I've already said 4 of his movies, and this will be my 5th, and I will still have 4 more after that.
Damn.
Yeah, Spielberg, Steven Spielberg. Love
He's got it like that.
Spielberg. He does, man. He's got 9 movies in my top 100, and this is the 5th. Top five Spielberg. This is where I have 1993's Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Another one that's just certified, just a fucking classic. And there is no goddamn doubt about it. Sam Neill and Laura Dern are electric in this movie. Just absolutely love them. Wayne Knight has a role that is absolutely hilarious. Love the way he dies in this movie.
He's the
he's the shaving cream guy.
Oh,
I know
man.
him from Seinfeld. He was actually a recurring character in Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Newman.
Yeah, he does go pretty funny, huh?
Yeah, it is a little funny. Can't find his glasses, and
glasses.
then Velociraptor gets his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not even a Velociraptor, some little fucking dinosaur that just kind of picks his shit apart. No, man, this is another one that's just it's a spectacle to behold, kind of. It's a brilliant movie in every technical aspect you can possibly think of. And as far as action and adventure is concerned, you're not getting better. Bottom line, you're not.
There's not a lot of bad things to say about Jurassic Park.
No, I can't think of a one. The only thing that keeps it this low is it's another one that doesn't evoke those emotions out of me. It doesn't make me feel. It doesn't make me feel like I mean, I'm happy. At the end of the movie when they make it out, I'm like, yeah,
pretty adventurous. Yeah. There's a sense of adventure there at first, but nothing.
To it.
Yeah, nothing ever like
to it.
Super crazy. Yeah,
I mean, just iconic though, like an iconic film. Jeff Goldblum is potentially my favorite. Yeah, potentially my favorite character ever in that movie. Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Awesome.
Dude, he's wonderful in that. What you call discovery, I call the rape of the natural world. And I mean, like, he delivers that line that I come back to, I don't know, all the fucking time. You spent so much time contemplating whether or not you didn't think about whether or not you should.
Yeah.
And that's just such a fundamental idea to me now. And while I think I'd had the thought to have it so concisely put by Jeff fucking Goldblum in an extremely exciting movie, hell yeah, it's going to stick with me.
Oh, yeah.
I love Jurassic Park, man. Had to have it on here.
We'll get a double. Oh, it'll come up again this episode.
Oh yeah, I thought it might.
Talk about it some more. I guess a little bit. But yeah, no, it is. I guess we'll come back to it when we get there. But for 37,
I'll reserve some thoughts then. There,
I got another classic here though, and I think it's probably higher up on yours. I just haven't dove. Yeah, I knew I was wrong both times.
There you go.
I haven't dove into this franchise hard enough, and I need to. And I can already tell as I dive further, it will grow. But I have a Spielberg as well, and it's Raiders of the Lost Ark right here, 1981. And
Spielberg is getting some love in this episode.
Yeah, oh yeah, he is. And I mean, this is kind of, I don't know. Now I'm like, after talking about Jurassic Park, I guess I don't know. I think Jurassic Park it's just like kind of standalone. I don't know. It's very standalone. It's just a very happy movie. I'm thinking about like why it's above.
To it also.
Yeah, but like with Raiders, I'm having way more of a fun time watching Raiders though. Like that's just a blast, and like it makes me want to be like an archaeologist. Like it seems like every archaeologist could just do this, if they're cool enough and badass enough. I don't know. It's like this is like the peak of archaeology if you just reach Indiana Jones level.
Yeah, I'm sure every archaeologist would tell you that.
Yeah, I mean that's probably all of their role models. I mean, how could it not be? Like how could you not want to be Indiana Jones? But yeah, I don't know. Now that I don't know, after talking Jurassic Park, I don't know. It is interesting now that I kind of put it above.
You put Jurassic Park above Raiders. I have Raiders much higher on my list. I've never been shy about it being one of my favorite movies of all time. It's as opposed to Jurassic Park, this is one that puts a smile on my face ear to ear pretty much the entire time I'm watching it. Which is the other criteria. It either has to make me sob or it has to make me happier than I've ever been, or both. And both is the best. That's the best option.
Man, he has so many good hero moments too. That is so
brilliant. And
good.
He kind of breaks the mold for what a typical action star of the time was. He's intelligent. He's a professor of archaeology, not just an archaeologist, but he teaches archaeology. He's sexy, which always helps. It's probably the finest Harrison Ford has ever looked. And then on top of that, he's like, he cares, he cares about human life. He's fighting fascists. It's not just like, well, I got to get out of this situation alive and I'm going to kill anybody I can to do it. Nah, he's going to kill anybody he can, but anybody he can is Nazis, and that's dope.
Can always get behind that.
I love killing Nazis. That's the shit, man. Indy is just, it's one of the most anti-fascist franchises there is, with one of the most anti-fascist characters there is, and it's a perfect storm for me. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, and I don't know, now that I'm thinking about it, it feels kind of wrong to have it, this low, but
that's
that's
why
the thing.
We'll revisit this topic.
Yeah, it's just a whole, every movie's so different. It's so hard, hard to compare. And why did it go down this far before? I guess, I don't know.
Some stuff just falls. That's just how it goes, I completely get you. There are movies in this episode that it's like, what? What the fuck? 30s?
Yeah.
But it's the 30s, it's not like it's...
This is true. Yeah. It is the 30s. These are all movies.
We're
there's
getting
not
into your true... There's this thing that you throw at movies throughout your life, unless you do a project dedicated to it like this, where you go, oh, that's like a top 10 favorite movie of all time. You've said that about probably 40 movies. You know what I'm saying? It's almost a guarantee. It's got to be a top 10 favorite movie. I've said that about an ungodly amount of movies, and actually quantifying it makes it clear that, oh, it's not top 10, but that's how I feel about it. I feel like it could be, and that's what matters. Yeah, man, I love Indy. I love Indiana Jones, and we might revisit the franchise within this episode.
Okay. Yeah. Figure there are more stops along the way.
Oh, of course. I've already got 3 of them. I only got 2 movies left. I already said Dial of Destiny, said Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I've said Temple of Doom. So I've only got a few left in that regard. But back-to-back Spielberg's there. I love it. Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's a fucking good combo. I'll take it. I'm heading over to another iconic director. Nolan, Coppola, Nolan, Spielberg, coming to Scorsese with the next Martin Scorsese. This is the highest Martin Scorsese movie in my list, which was one of those details that made me go, oh, really? My highest Martin Scorsese movie is at 37. The Wolf of Wall Street, 2013, Martin Scorsese. This is certifiably, undoubtedly my favorite Scorsese movie of all time. And doing this project really made me realize that. Because it was always like, is it Goodfellas or is it this? And it just became overwhelmingly clear when I was doing this that I couldn't look at the Goodfellas poster above the Wolf of Wall Street poster and feel right about it,
It's Fugazi.
It's a Wazi.
On the elemental chart.
It hasn't landed.
It hasn't. Oh man, yeah. It
never landed.
God, and that's just a little cameo.
Fairy dust, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's just a little cameo. That's nothing. That's just one scene in the movie. And
God, no, I love that movie, man. It's one that I've revisited several times throughout the years. I think I watched it for the first time when I was 16, back in 2016. I mixed up when I was 20 back in 2016. So when I was 16, I watched it for the first time. And I've revisited it pretty much yearly since then. Every time kind of gaining something new from it. The movie's astonishingly funny with a lot of people have the misconception that it's glorifying Belfort and his lifestyle, but I don't think Scorsese has ever had a deeper contempt for any of his protagonists. Like, it seems so clear that he fucking despises this guy, which just makes it all the more funny that he was working on the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like there's a weird sense of like people idolizing like the main character of a movie, like kind of like missing the whole point, sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
and, like I get that a lot with like Patrick Bateman, like with American Psycho. Like people like go crazy for him, and it's like, oh well, he's also like a serial killer. And
do you have that movie on your list?
He's insane. No, I don't.
I don't either. I did want to drop a little tidbit about it while we're on it, though. I think I've said this before, but the way Christian Bale played that role, the kind of energy he wanted to get across, he decided he was going to play it like he was Tom Cruise.
Wow.
He wanted to put off this like alpha male confident exterior, but like you look at his eyes and there's just nothing there. It's just a pit. There's nothing in that man.
Like there's I guess if you want to look at some things, like how clean his apartment was, it was like music. He had a pretty cool music
that's the
setup.
Thing, is that you can say, or whatever. Again, you bring it back to Belfort, and you kind of get the same thing. This man knew how to fucking party. He knew how to have a good time. It was just life ruining fun. That's like the kind of shit he was up to. And not just his life ruining fun, other people's lives ruining fun. And that's when you start to go, oh, well, this guy's a massive piece of shit. He's despicable in almost every single way you can be.
Kind of crazy he got away with that for so long. Like, I mean, that's kind of nuts. Like,
it's insane.
Like that's not made up. That's not like all fiction. I mean, some of it's dramatized, like for the movie, but like the core of what they were doing, like it's insane how much money that dude.
Drugs every day to sedate the entire island of Manhattan.
Yeah, I don't know how that dude's still like breathing. Honestly,
he's still alive, and he's not in prison. He's like
I mean, dude's winning. Like if he wakes up another day, I guess. Insane.
But it's one of my favorite Leo roles. It's not going to be my highest Leo movie. I think I have two more, maybe more than that. I have two Leo movies higher than it. It won't even be my last Margot Robbie movie. Margot Robbie, this is her like breakout, rise to stardom. She became a movie star off of this, and it's Jonah Hill's best work, far and away.
Oh, definitely. Man, he's so good in this. Yeah.
And I think you could make the argument that it might be Leo's best work too. Like the role that he is putting on, he is doing it incredibly well.
It's the most like non-Leo that you see him kind of.
Oh,
like
dude.
Like yeah, like I don't know, he really does.
I often think I just kind of take it for granted sometimes whenever he takes the like years expired Quaaludes.
Yeah.
And then it kicks in, and then he starts like drooling and like sweating, and he's like a mess. That's I would think on set they drugged that man and said, "Go ahead, let's film this shit." Like that's pretty incredible, like the show he's putting on there. It's not easy, and like that's just. And Margot Robbie, she deserved a nomination at least for this role. She was brilliant in it. Love Kristen Milioti. I'm always going to give Kristen Milioti some love. She's a Teresa Petrello. She got her moment.
Oh yeah,
finding him in the back of the limo with Margot Robbie, and You cheated on me. And he's like, it was the saddest I've ever been. I moved her out of the apartment, filed for divorce, and Naomi moved in 3 days later. That's
Yeah.
just what a fucking piece of shit, man.
No bueno.
Like I said, I adore this movie, and this is another one that if I let this one sit, I did not rewatch this one so that it would not climb up the list, because it almost certainly would have had I revisited it prior to this episode. I love this movie. But yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, highest Scorsese movie, not the highest Leo or Margot Robbie movie, but definitely the highest Scorsese movie, and I love it. I love that movie, man.
I got a Margot movie higher. Trying to see if I have any Scorsese. I don't think I do have any of him left. Because this, I don't know, this didn't make it for me, but it probably should. I mean, like, it wouldn't be up here for me. I think it's hilarious. Like, I like the movie, that's for sure. But I don't know where I'd put it on my list personally.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's like the length of a relationship I've had with this movie. Like I've been watching it like for 7 years now, and just the way that my perception of it has kind of evolved is really. I remember the first time I watched it very vividly. Like it was like summer 16, baby. Iconic shit happened that summer, man.
I mean, that's a goated year.
That's a goated year. But like I was up at like 2 a.m. and I was like, why not watch a 3-hour movie right this fucking second?
Fuck it.
Yeah.
And
I stayed up till 5 a.m., watched Wolf of Wall Street front to back. No better time to watch it, by the way, than when you're deliriously tired. Very funny.
Yeah.
Very fun movie.
I don't know. I feel like it should. Because it was a movie that, like, you feel like at the time, like, I don't know. I feel like my younger self would have idolized Jordan Belfort a little bit.
You'd have been like, oh shit, let's get that money. Let's party. And but, to a degree, the thing that always, like, what I do appreciate about that movie is that they show how every other aspect is so undeniably terrible that you kind of have to, like, whenever he tries to kidnap his child and punches Naomi in the stomach, and he's high as fuck off those Quaaludes and then cocaine, and then takes the baby or the child and drives through the garage door and slams the car into a brick wall. And you kind of go, okay, well, this man's, no matter what fun he might have had, this is fucking awful.
There's a line, and he's definitely crossed it.
Oh, by like a lot, by like a mile. One of my favorite moments in that movie is when Jonah Hill, Donnie Azoff, is taking over Stratton Oakmont, and he's like, Jordan's on house arrest, and he's like, he comes and visits him. He's got the ankle monitor on, and he's like, what, how you doing, man? And he's like, bored as shit, having a terrible time. And, we got this to pay. We can't afford the house anymore. And he's like, don't worry about it. Donnie's like, I got you. I'm making a gobsmack amount of money. I got you. And he's like, what are you drinking there? He's like, it's non-alcoholic beer. And he's like, how you liking being sober? He goes, it's fucking awful.
Yeah. I mean, after being on the stuff he was on, oh my God. Like, I don't think he ever quit, Like,
no, like, if you are that, like, I think you should. All the power to anybody trying. But if you are taking enough drugs daily to sedate the island of Manhattan, just do that until you're done,
I take like one puff of a dispensary cart and I'm like down for the count. And this dude was just, I don't know, ingesting enough to kill me like 10 times over. Probably. So.
Dude, if I don't die from a straight up overdose based off what he's doing, I'm dying from a panic attack. Like, I'm going to give myself a heart attack at some point.
It's not a matter of, it's just a matter of how, but not a matter of when. It will happen.
It will happen.
Yeah, don't know when, but yeah, that's I don't know. That is probably will go down as a classic.
That was one of those movies I told you Like
That's what
two
I
of
was
them, I
wondering.
think,
That's
will
what you
be
meant.
considered classics. And I think this. I mean, shit, it's 10
It's
years
getting
old
there.
now. Maybe it's
It's getting there. Like, I'd say people like our age definitely. Like what's like just a classic for you growing up? Like that's I don't know. I feel like that's on a lot of people's lists. Like that, if it's not already, like it will
no,
be
it's so
for
damn
sure.
good, man. It's
Yeah,
such a
like
good.
telling our kids the classic movies of our time. That's one.
Movie.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I will never forget when it came out and kind of like having to steer clear of it because it dropped the F-bomb more than any movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
Literally more than any movie ever.
Wow. Has it been beaten?
It has by like a movie called like it's literally about cursing. Like they were just trying to curse.
So they were trying.
Yeah.
Oh,
They just said fuck that many times in this movie. I feel like it's like 500 or something like that. Like something absurd. They say fuck once every like 6 seconds.
569. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and then fuck documentary has 857.
Yeah.
So,
So
like,
feature film wise.
Come on. Yeah. Wow. That's sick.
That was the second time Scorsese had held that record, as Goodfellas was the first.
That's amazing. Yeah, Casino. Casino's up there. I recognize that. Uncut Gems is right below Wolf of Wall Street.
I believe that.
That
Movie
is
did
at
not make the list.
560.
It almost gave me. I mean, it basically gave me an anxiety.
Apparently,
attack.
there's one above Fuck the documentary.
Oh.
SwearNet.
SwearNet,
movie.
yeah.
So there's a Fuck documentary and SwearNet. SwearNet's at 935. And that came out the year after. So that's what you were talking about. Fuck.
Well, if they say fuck 569 times in a 3-hour feature film, I can't imagine SwearNet is more than an hour and 45 minutes.
It is. It is. It's under an hour and a. Yeah, it's under 2 hours. It's 112 minutes. Yeah. Rate per movie. That's interesting. Yeah, it's like rate per minute. They even have the fucks per minute of these movies.
Oh yeah.
The highest fucks per minute is fuck. Yeah, fucks per minute. Wolf of Wall Street drops down to 12. 3.16 fucks per minute. So the running time would hurt it there. Yeah, everything else is like.
I mean, that's a fuck every 20 seconds or 20 minutes. You know, or no, 20 seconds. I was right.
Yeah, 3 fucks per minute. Yeah, every 20 seconds. A little under that actually.
That's absurd.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fucks.
That's a ton of fucks. But no, love Wolf of Wall Street. That's what I had at 37, and I'm happy with it. Probably could have risen up a list, but you know, it is what it is.
All right. Well, all right. This one it's a special movie to me. I feel like it's underrated. And not a movie that I don't know. I'd expect to have liked, but I don't know why. It's my man Denzel, so that helps a little bit. But this is where I have 2010's The Book of Eli, directed by Albert and Alan Hughes. I didn't know that. Little brother duo here, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
That I didn't know of. But this, I don't know. It's a religious story at heart, but not really at the beginning. It's more of like nuclear fallout, sort of, and like what the world would be like after like such a thing. And you got Denzel. He's the main character. Amazing. You got Mila Kunis as kind of a little side character, but Gary Oldman, the performance he puts on here is actually nuts. I think he's the one that won like an award for this, and Denzel didn't. I think. Yeah, Denzel was nominated. Oh, that's okay. Well, nothing, I guess, big Academy. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the movie's just a little underrated, though. And if... I don't know, it's not very... it gets pretty religious at the end. Like, I don't know, just like straight up the Bible and stuff. And whatever. But I don't know. It's kind of like this... just old, disgruntled hero passing through a town, and at first he's just wanting to to charge his iPod, gather a few things, and leave. He's headed west. That's all he knows, you know.
Right.
And whatever. And he sees the town is not doing too. I don't know. It's just kind of like Yojimbo a little bit. Not really.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know. Just kind of like the hero that doesn't want to be a hero.
Yeah.
Coming into the town, and then it just helps that Denzel's an absolute badass and maybe blind the whole time too, which is like kind of up in the air. It's
He's
like
Ghost Rider rolling into San Venganza, huh?
yeah, I mean, dude is nice with the weapons, like in the guns and stuff, but he's got a machete too, and it's like I don't know, he's very resourceful. He's a very resourceful man. And I don't know, I just think the concept of the story is really cool. This like post, like it. I think he gets into it. Like he's like, yeah, like nuclear war. Like that's I remember.
Yeah, I was like
he remembered a time before. Mila
yeah, I've
Kunis
never watched this movie. Obviously, I've heard of it
Wow.
a whole bunch over the course of the last 13 years, but more in the last couple years because of you. It's still one that I have not made it around to, but yeah, it was always one that struck me as intriguing. Like just the title, The Book of Eli. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in.
It's got a lot of different like just things thrown into one. Post apocalyptic sort of lifestyle. Fahrenheit 451 a little bit in there. Bunch of really cool like storylines that all kind of converge eventually, and the ending is very satisfying. That's for sure. And like it kind of leads you even on like, oh, maybe there's gonna be another movie, and who knows? Maybe they do come back to this with Mila Kunis.
I mean, they just did Equalizer 3, man.
That's true. Yeah, I know, it's kind of like Denzel's just a badass in the Hollywood multiverse. He just doesn't really seem to ever have a role where he's not. But this one is very nice in that regard. That's for sure. He's probably the most capable man on the planet, honestly.
Okay.
Like there's not many people left, but out of all, like he's the most capable. Yeah.
You motherfuckers.
It's
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Yeah, definitely not that type of Denzel. He's humble about it here.
Yeah.
He's like he doesn't like talk any shit really at all. It's just all what he can do. Like his actions speak for him. You know, he doesn't need any of that. But
pimp shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No. I like Denzel, man. That's a good. I was wondering when it was going to come around because I knew you loved that movie, and the more it kept climbing, the more I was like, oh man,
watch the shit out of that movie. It's like it's not really comfortable at all whatsoever. Like, but it somehow is a comfort movie for me. Like
like I said, you have a long history with a movie that you keep coming back to, and it becomes special to you, even if it's not particularly emotional or if it's not particularly happy. Like if you've watched it for a long time, eventually you start to go, man, I love this movie. It's a good one.
Like I feel like it, like even crying, like doesn't really make me cry really at all. Maybe like 1 or 2 points, but it's not like I'm bawling or anything like that. Like it'll just be like, oh man, like just a nice exhale. Yeah, just one of those. Like maybe one tear falls down my face. I don't know. Just a good story though, and just shot kind of cool. Like it's visually cool. Gary Oldman puts on a hell of a performance too.
I love Gary Oldman, man. He's good. He's a good actor.
So good. Got some range. And he plays a piece of shit in this one, but it's a good piece of shit. Good piece of shit performance.
Love a good piece. I mean, we just talked about Leo and Wolf of Wall Street. Like, it's a brilliant piece of shit performance, you know?
Not a shit performance, but a performance of a piece of shit. You know?
Exactly. You gotta have them. You gotta. But my next one, this is officially top 3 comic book movies.
Ooh, okay.
I only have 2 after this. This is where I have elected to put my MCU representative.
Okay.
You know, I have not had an MCU movie I've enjoyed the MCU for many years.
Mm-hmm.
No movie as much as this one in the MCU. This is where I have 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy, directed by James Gunn. Hey,
What does this movie not have, man? I mean,
dude, this one does make me cry. This one does make me smile ear to ear. You know, like, it is so fucking good. It makes me so fucking happy. This is a comfort movie to the max.
oh yeah,
Everything I love about superhero movies, this movie has it, and it does it better than most ever have. You know, like, it's just everything you want out of. I remember I saw it in the movie theater when I was 14. And absolutely adored it from the first time I saw it. There was just I'd never heard of the Guardians, as nobody really had. You know, they were not a popular team. James Gunn went ahead and made them A-listers, which is very, very cool. You know, Chris Pratt
responsible for literally the Infinity Stones and starting that storyline in Marvel. Like, he was like, yeah, I'll come up with, you know, just it find a way to put it in there. You know, it's like, it'll work out. And, you know, I like this, and the way the trilogy like wrapped itself up, I'm like, if it happens, I don't know if his DCU is gonna even be, if his DC universe is gonna be possible at this point. I don't know, but I'm like, I trust this man. Like, this, he has such a hold on comic book movies, and
the dude just fucking gets it. And Superman Legacy will obviously be like a hinge point, because he's done Guardians of the Galaxy, he's done the Suicide Squad, which is like, okay, yeah, that those don't necessarily translate to Superman, but the spirit of those movies does. You know what I'm saying? He
works really well with groups. It will be interesting to see like a single character.
Well, and that's the thing is, are we finally going to get a Superman movie where Lois is as important to the story as Clark is, or Jimmy Olsen, or the supporting cast around Superman? Are we finally going to get one of those?
Okay.
Which I would love if that happened.
Yeah, because
I mean, that's what does so well is
it's all the supporting roles that are the best. Like, every character has something. Like, I don't know, there's some relationship between every character. Like, it's a web, you know, like, it's not just
relationships better than most comic book movie writers and directors do. And this movie is a peak example of that. Like, you spawn this romance of Star-Lord and Gamora, and you're immediately in. You know, like, it does not take long for you to. Rocket and Groot are a beautiful friendship. The begrudging friendship of everybody together. You know, like, it's just I love this movie, and it's one that I will never stop loving. Just a very, very special movie to me, and I'll love it until the end of time. It is far and away my favorite MCU movie, so I went ahead and it's my MCU representative, but no other MCU movie would have come this high. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the belle of the ball.
Yeah, we ended up choosing the same representative movie for the MCU. I guess I had Endgame in there as well already, but I hold Guardians much higher than Endgame. Endgame was 50. That was my midway point. But yeah, we'll be coming back to Guardians eventually. Not this episode though. We'll be in a little bit, but yeah, it's a special trilogy, and like, it's tough. Like, no, like, I don't even think it's really clear on like which movie's the best. Like, I don't know. Like, they're all just so,
they all have their strengths,
good, man, for different reasons. One is like, maybe one is just,
for years I would have said 2 was my favorite until Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was coming out, and I was revisiting them, and I got to see like the specialness about Guardians again, and I was like, oh man, this is just it's one of the best origin stories in all of comic book movies, and to do it for an entire team so effectively,
Yeah.
fucking great, man. I love it.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, it is special. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I have 5 comic book movies left, I think, in mine, and that will be the next one that I get to. But it won't be for a little bit. Okay, what number are we at? 35.
35, I believe, is what you're
halfway there. I'm going to a musical here, and this I don't know. From first watch, I was just like, "Holy shit!" Like I cried. Like this was a cry. Like first watch, first cry. Trying to think of where I.
You off the ground.
This might have been theater, but it is 2018. Bryan Singer's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh.
Yeah, did you think I was going La La or Tick
did.
Tick Boom here?
I thought you were going La La for sure.
No, yeah. And I mean it will be this episode as well.
Okay.
But this is where I am going first is Bohemian Rhapsody. And I think it was like for some reason I'm feeling theater, but it doesn't seem right because the drive-in is hitting me for some reason. I think I might have seen this at a drive-in.
Big drive-in movie for sure.
It's 2018. That seems kind of right. I think we were like nostalgic. We haven't been to the drive-in in so long, and it's like a Queen movie, so it's like it kind of fits the time. Oh, dude, that Live Aid scene.
Wish I'd never been born at all.
Oh, I don't know. This is just
Queen, man. I love Queen.
And I don't know. I didn't know a lot of like the stuff about Freddie Mercury at all before this movie, and then like after watching, I'm like, oh my god, like damn, like I don't know, just learn about his life and everything, and what he had to deal with, and just seeing how big they got. Like,
strongly recommend reading a little bit more about Freddie Mercury. This movie has been. It's been noted that this wasn't incredibly accurate at every turn.
Really?
But I mean, like, I can't say for sure. But I too love this. I love watching this movie. I think it's a fun one. It doesn't make my top 100. But I remember when it was coming out and being like, oh shit, because Rami Malek, it kind of breaks out. He won a best actor Oscar for this movie as Freddie Mercury.
He did. It was amazing, like incredible. Like whenever I saw him in Oppenheimer, I'm like, oh, like what is he? Like I don't know, like he had his moment, but I expected like a bigger role. But that like
against his head,
that the similarities like between the real performance at the Live Aid and like the one they did in the movies, like just seeing them side by side,
undeniably
so cool.
moving about that movie, about that part of the movie and about the story and how, I mean, Freddie Mercury, man, just a devastating, a devastating indication of just how bad the AIDS crisis was.
Yeah,
and that's something that the movie does a pretty good job of diving into, but I still don't think it did like. That's a major part of that man's story, and I thought that this one, I'd enjoyed Queen prior, but it kind of led me to rediscovering their music in a new way, and I was so thankful that it did. It might have won the worst Oscar ever.
The worst Oscar ever?
It won editing at the Oscars. This movie is horrendously edited. Like it's objectively terribly put together editing wise. There's a conversation where Peter Bush, Aidan Gillen, comes and sits down at their like table. It's like Catwoman editing.
Oh no.
And it's just them talking, and it's like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on here? But no,
wow.
This movie, I think it catches a bad rap. It's it destroyed award season Like, it cleaned up at award season, and not a lot of people thought it deserved that, and therefore people automatically dismissed this movie. I disagree. I always have a good time when I watch this movie. I always cry when I watch this movie because Rami Malek is brilliant as Freddy, man. Just incredibly moving performance that he puts on, I think. There's actually a picture of Rami winning Best Actor, and like when he does, like when it gets announced, he was like, "There's no fucking chance." There's no fucking chance I win this Oscar. And then he won, and like it just shows him going. He's just got his like mouth open, like no fucking way, man. You know. So it's just.
I wonder who he was up against.
Gosh, would that?
I think it. IMDb usually says if you click on the award, I think it goes right to it. Let's see. Because for editing, Black Klansman and Vice were up for it as well, and Best Editing. Those are the two that I recognize right away, at least. And then let's see, actor Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born, Christian Bale in Vice, Willem Dafoe in At Eternity's Gate, and then Viggo Mortensen in The Green Book.
And then The Green Book went on to win Best Picture that year, and nobody thought that was the right choice either.
Wow.
So it was just like a terrible year for the Academy, according to everyone.
Wow.
No, it's just I thoroughly enjoy that movie, man, and I think it's incredibly moving, and I think that's the most important thing most of the time, you know, regardless of how well a movie is made. If the story gets me there, it gets me there. You know, there's no denying it. And this one is one of those.
Yeah, I don't know. The band splitting up and coming back together for that last performance, and like him like knowing like it's one of his last performances, you know, and then like all that like coming together at once.
Live Aid, and it's like
I'm just like, oh my god, the little volume turn up to make them the loudest out of like everyone there, like I don't know. There's just like little things that just slowly add up that are just like, oh man, what a moment! Like, just I don't know. It's really just the end of the movie that really does it.
Oh, that's enough though, you know. Like, God, I'll always maintain. There was a question that me and Tavares contemplated early on in this podcast, and it was like, if you could have been there for any musical collaborations ever, like music being created, if you could have been a fly on the wall to watch it happen, what would you like? What song would you like to have seen created? And I steadfastly think my top one would be Under Pressure. Queen and David Bowie, another David Bowie mention after the Prestige.
That would
the minds of Mercury and David Bowie coming together. It's gotta be room to behold. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question though. Like who? If I could sit in on anyone, because like that's a good pick. Queen and David Bowie together. That's pretty strong. What jumped out to me right away was All of the Lights.
Oh yeah.
Just because of like how that album was made, like he had people fly out to Hawaii and like dress up in like tuxedos and like or the same dresses. Like I don't know. Apparently, I just like to see if it was actually real. I mean, I don't know. It seems weird, but that one's just more of like a weird. Just to know how that actually went down. I'm trying to think of another collab that's like that big. I don't know. I feel like just any Michael Jackson. Like, I don't know. Like, it'd be cool just to see, like, Michael maybe, like, I don't know. That's not, like, I don't know, like, any collabs, but I thought you were about to ask, like, any concert that you could
I mean, like, Live Aid feels like a good Woodstock. There's just, there's a lot of really, I think, more obvious answers to that. And then, like, the deeper contemplation about, like, just, you know, to watch creative minds create together. That's cool shit, man.
Under Pressure that'd be sick. That's a pretty good answer.
I think I came up with that question because I'd watched Bohemian Rhapsody. and was like, oh my God, I fucking love this song. I need to figure out how to talk about this song. And I based I based it off that answer before I came up with the question.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was a fun one. But Bohemian Rhapsody, man, I did not expect that to be a mention at all. I'm loving your 30s right now. Just kind of like you're peppering in some personals, and I like that. I like that a lot.
I'd say that there's one more personal on my list. I'd say after this, there's one more that's pretty that's a me movie. That's probably not up on many people's list up high. But everything else is probably very expected from here on out.
All right.
More unanimously, kind of.
Okay, let's see.
But yeah,
I love that. Yeah, no, I don't have a Bohemian Rhapsody in this episode. I don't think it's all. They're all pretty fucking classic. And 35 is one of the more underrated classics of all time, I would say.
Okay.
This is where I have, sorry, my connection's fucking up on me. This is where I have 1957's 12 Angry Men, directed by Sidney Lumet. This is a just masterfully crafted story about our judicial system and how it can be inherently flawed by biases held within a jury. You know, the idea is that 12 men are on a jury where a young Hispanic boy, Spanish American boy, is on trial for the murder of his father. That's the idea. You don't see any of the trial. The entire movie is the deliberation of the jury that night after the trial is concluded.
Okay.
And they go into that room. It's 11-1. No, it has to be unanimous. And like they go ahead. They go, well, let's see if we can get this over quick. Who thinks he's guilty? 11 hands go up. One person says no, and that person's played by Henry Fonda, juror number 8. They also never get names. They're all just juror number 1 through 12.
Okay.
Sidney Lumet has this incredible capacity for morality. Like, I don't think there's a director who understands good and bad quite like him. Scorsese understands good and bad, but he always explores bad. He's just like, what if just this really shitty guy did all this really shitty stuff? That's just kind of the whole movie. George Lucas really understands like heroic versus evil, the grander side of it. There's just a really fundamental goodness versus not goodness in Sidney Lumet's movies. And I think this is a really good example of it. Cause they're just 12 normal guys, there's no hero, there's no villain. I mean, you'll watch this and you'll fucking despise a couple people, but it's just fascinating to watch this deliberation go from, oh, well, he's definitely guilty, to one person going, I don't know, there feels like there's a reasonable doubt. And that's all I'm arguing for. I'm not arguing that he's innocent. I'm arguing that we can't know for sure. And that's it's the entire movie is that debate in that deliberation room. They bring in the evidence, they bring in all that.
Man, it's got a 9 out of 10 on IMDb.
No, it's one of the greatest movies of all time.
That's high. There's no doubt. Yeah, that's high up there. Right, 300 on the popularity list. I don't know, 1 out of 300. That's kind of nuts, especially coming from 57.
Nah, man, it's this is such a good movie that it's like one of those, when we were doing our 52 year with your film, we'd reach a movie every once in a while. We would go, if you're an American, this is required viewing. This is one of those. If you are, and I think this is kind of for anybody, but especially with the American judiciary system kind of in question.
Yeah. Seems kind of fucked. Seems kind of, I don't know, rigged a little bit.
Well, that's the thing, and that's the wonderful exploration of this movie. And I think that it just does such a very very good job.
We progressed since 57. This is still applicable.
That's one of those
applicable
things that's
to
just
today?
jarring about it is watching it and going like, well, and that's the other thing is that Lumet was so. What a fucking forward-thinking mind and like a relatively good, a good person to be like, what if I made a movie in 57 about a person of color for being on trial for a murder and all these people deliberating on that murder? Like that's what a fucking guy, you know. I love Sidney Lumet. I've since watched. This was the first Lumet movie I watched. I've since watched 6 more. And 4 of them were too late into starting this, you know? But they all would have made it, I think. And that's, like the dude's got the sauce. I love Sidney Lumet.
Okay. Well, man.
So 12 Angry Men at 35 here.
I got another musical here on this one. And what a visual spectacle this one is. This one is just so goddamn visually beautiful. And it was an ending that at first I hated. And I was like, no, this is not how the movie was supposed to end. But it's okay. It is 2016's La La Land by Damien Chazelle. And
right person, wrong time, man. That's all.
Man, God, it's and just so like Ryan Gosling's just killing it. Like, I don't know, like he's got a pretty good track of some stuff. But man, I don't know. In this, you know, he has a few dickish moments. That's for sure in here.
He's human.
But I mean, Emma Stone is a lot more to talk about in this movie. She does.
Emma Stone's the highlight.
Yeah. And it's, man, it just frames so well and so interesting too. A lot of like, and then they'll break out into song and then like just be into like set world or like theater kind of world, and it's all just beautiful. Their kiss they have, their first kiss in the observatory, the planetarium. Yeah, like, oh my God, like, yeah, it's so good. And this was one that I'm like, okay, if I watch this movie again, it's probably going up a few ranks. And I don't know, I haven't gotten back to it. But man, this one, it was special. The first watch, and I think the second time I'm watching, and now I know where it's going. I saw the beauty.
Oh, you've only watched it once still?
No, I've seen it twice. No, I'm saying like on the second watch, it was much more of like, okay, I know where I'm going. I'm not going to be pissed. You know, I'm not going to like hope out for this happy ending. You know, or like fantasy ending.
Still devastating as all hell, man. Like I get fucking emotionally wrecked at the end of that movie. Emma Stone is perfect. Ryan Gosling is exquisite. Damien Chazelle's direction is amazing. Dude, it's just a good fucking movie.
If you had to pick one song from the whole soundtrack? City of Stars is pretty good. But like,
there's something that's not dynamic enough about it to return to a lot.
I go to their theme, I think, the most.
Oh yeah, no, well,
just me and Sebastian's theme, just the piano. I don't know. It's what I hear. When I think of this movie, that's what I hear. That's the first song that comes to my mind.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I was thinking like what they perform, and I think it would be someone in the crowd.
That was fun. Very beautiful. The 4 dresses, is that? Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
And Another Day of Sun. You know, the very opening number that won her
on the highway,
the freeway in Los Angeles.
Yep. Like, ooh, now that I'm okay.
No, there's a lot of great moments. You know, John Legend's "We Can Start a Fire." Ba-da-da-dun, 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 ba. Yeah, man, that shit's good. There's a lot
audition. I think that's more of like the moment in the movie. You know, that's
what's so funny is I don't even think like there's so many like exuberant numbers that just kind of feels like a scene where she happened to be singing, which is kind of funny.
Ooh.
Dude, hey, this is the second movie you've said in this episode that you will not be hearing from me for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Okay. I figured.
No, it'll get more than enough love later on, to be sure.
Great. I mean, boom. I've only seen it just two times, but man,
it's another one that I've had an extended relationship with. I think I watched it for the first time in 2018, and I remember, yeah, man, it was the movie that made me fall in love with musicals, which it will always make it special to me.
I believe it was my first musical. Like,
real deal. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because like Hairspray would have been like if my first true, maybe Grease.
Yeah, Hairspray and Grease, they're kind of universal.
Grease, I was like super young. I barely remember Grease, even so to this day. Hairspray,
and they're multiplying.
Yeah, I know that. I thought that whoever the main guy was in Grease was the coolest dude in the world, though. At the time of watching, really,
that's John Travolta.
Yeah. It's Travolta. Oh,
yeah.
I had no. Yeah, see, that's Grease is like it's just kind of a fever
ancient
dream.
memory at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel real. But no, this would have been probably my first real musical here, and I was like, oh, I don't know why. I wasn't against them, but I just never really.
There are too many people who are just like, I will not watch musicals, man. And I'm like, I wasn't one of them, but I was definitely less interested in a movie if it was a musical at one point in my life, you know?
Yeah.
Now, if you're like, for example, Joker 2 is going to be a musical with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, people are like, wow, this is going to be a hot piece of garbage. I'm like, this has greatest comic book movie of all time.
What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Like, two absolute performers performing their ass off as Joker and Harley. Like, what is going to even happen? What does that even mean? Yeah, but I don't know. That makes me more excited.
No, it's supposed to be. I'm very excited. But Damien Chazelle, man, this is not the. I mentioned Babylon earlier. Another movie of his that would have made the list if I rewatched it more recently. I've only watched it once, and it was a couple years ago. Whiplash, with Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. It's a brilliant movie. Can't recommend it highly enough. I just haven't watched it in a couple years, and that's why it's not here.
The Yellow movie. I saw Jake. Okay, I think I'm thinking of the right thing, but apparently it looks really yellow in a lot of scenes.
Oh yeah,
or something like that. And someone was like, "Here's what Whiplash looks like, not yellow," or something like that. And just it goes to show like how like important color grading or just I don't know. Feels like that's like kind of a director's vision of how they see it, sort of thing. Yeah. Like how it matters. Like the raw footage of a movie isn't really
what you end up seeing.
Yeah, at all. But anyway.
I love Chazelle. I love Chazelle on La La Land, man. I love that movie. It's definitely my favorite of his. I still haven't seen First Man, which is surprising.
That was on there. That was up there for him.
It's Ryan Gosling as Neil Armstrong.
Oh,
yeah, like it's about the first man on the moon. Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta check that out.
Exactly. I was like, I can't believe I haven't. And that's something I got to get around to.
I automatically like that.
Yeah, and I was like, I know you'll like that. But yeah, all right. So that's at La La Land at what was that? 34?
34. Yep.
All right, I'm with my second and final. Going with my second and final Sidney Lumet movie. Had them back to back here.
Okay.
Sidney Lumet's Dog Day Afternoon, 1975. This is probably my favorite Al Pacino movie ever. And easily my favorite Al Pacino performance ever. It's based on a true story. Al Pacino is playing a gentleman who is going to rob a bank. It's supposed to be 10 minutes. In, out. He worked at a bank. He knows all the ins and outs. He knows what everything is, where everything is. supposed to be in and out. It does not go to plan. It turns into an entire hostage situation, and everything kind of spirals from there. Another Sidney Lumet having this really impressive understanding of good and bad, ahead of his time sort of thing. One of the reasons he's robbing this bank is to pay for his girlfriend's transition surgery.
Whoa. In 75. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
It's one of he asked them to bring, he asks the police, one of his demands, bring me my wife. And it's like a twist when she gets there that she's male passing. She wants to become a woman. He's a bisexual man who is in love with, he has a wife legally and a wife, spiritually with her.
Man. Is Lumet a time traveler?
Dude, Lumet's the shit, man. No, and this one, it's intense. It's, again, has morality that's just, and this is the most, like, he kind of blurs the lines, because he's taking these people hostage. But what's funny is that the hostages are like having a good time, and they almost seem like they're like rooting for him. Like it's bizarre in that way. He's got a partner who's played by Johnny Cannavale, who is brilliant. He was Fredo in the Godfather movies. By the way, was only ever in 5 movies, Johnny Cannavale, before he died. All 5 were nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars.
It's a pretty good track record.
It's a pretty great track record. But yeah, he's like the number 2 supporting role in this movie. He's Al Pacino's partner in the crime. And he's he's scary, like Al Pacino's not going to hurt these people. That guy might hurt these people, and so they all kind of trust Al Pacino's character to kind of, and it's not their money,
True.
My Wi-Fi disconnected completely. Like I had to sign back in.
There you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back.
Okay. So yeah, they're kind of just trusting Al Pacino to keep them alive, basically.
Sal,
and he was like, they were both veterans of the Vietnam War. So like he's teaching them how to do like the military like formations with like the guns. They like kick them up in the air and they twirl them and like the ROTC shit. He's like teaching the hostages how to do that.
Okay.
In
that's
between
the worst
like,
hostage situation then.
No, and that's what's hilarious about it is that like the people are like actively rooting for him to rob this bank. It's a fascinating and extremely good movie, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. Dog Day Afternoon, probably Al Pacino's best. Still my favorite Sidney Lumet, even though I've watched 4 more movies additionally. Maybe 5. He's just, Lumet's got it. He's got it down, and he's so damn good. So had to have it here. Dog Day Afternoon at 34.
All right. Well, on to 33. We're going back to Spielberg, because this is where I have Jurassic Park from 93 myself. So not too far off at all.
No?
Let's see, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is that the first
away.
within the same episode mention?
Ooh.
I think it might be.
Might be, because even though Godfather and Barbie were close, they were, or Barbie would have been the same episode.
Oh, yeah.
They were one away. So Barbie, I guess. And then, yeah, that'd be it in the same episode. But yeah, we both got Jurassic Park here. And I think that, I don't know, that kind of makes sense. It is just kind of like, it's up there. Man. Yeah, it's like, it's just instantly a classic, even like from the first time you watch it. You know, you got John Williams backing it up. It's like one of the most recognizable themes there is, like, in the world. Yeah, and like crazy how like the VFX and stuff like still hold up. Like they shot it
impressive.
so smartly, or just like they thought I don't know, it was just a lot of like it in darkness, so you couldn't really see it very clearly, or like it was just the like situational. Like there's a shot of like the DNA sequence, like A B D D A, or like I don't know, just the like string of characters like on a projector, and it's on a velociraptor. And like you see all of that, and like I don't know, it's just a really sick shot. Like, and it's like, man, that actually looks like kind of real. Like those velociraptors, like they walk a little funky, I guess, like sometimes, but like really, it's really good. And like just
it's incredible.
Yeah, and like T-Rex chasing after the Jeep, like that's insane. Like I don't know, I just think it's insane. Like what they did. It was 93, but like they still had a lot of technical challenges to get over at that time.
I mean, we say it was like 93, like that's like, dude, look at some movies.
Yeah, what else surrounds that? That's true. Yeah, like what year are we in like comic book range? Like Donner Cut was like 2006.
I mean,
right?
Ghost Rider.
This
Friday.
Yeah, and that's 2006 as well, or 2007. Yeah, wow, that's okay. Yeah,
nearly 15 years later. No, and it's like this was so impressive that it's when George Lucas was helping Spielberg with like in the post production process with like ILM and stuff, because I'm pretty sure Skywalker Sound, John Williams, ILM, they all had a pretty heavy hand in this. So George Lucas was naturally around. Witnessing this was when he was like, oh, I can make the prequels. I can make these movies that have been cooking in my head, because now it is possible.
It's time.
And that's...
Yeah. The time has come. Yeah. You just gotta... I don't know what it is, or like if they just kind of just had the right people, or they just knew how to shoot it so well. I don't know. It's very good. Like for the time, it's a timeless movie that just...
Oh, it is.
It'll be a classic. Like it's just a classic. This is probably required viewing as an American.
Oh,
like,
yeah. This one's required
worldwide.
viewing no matter who you are.
Yeah, humankind needs to see this one. Yeah, just they're like up in the tree, like them sleeping up there. Like even like just that little there's just like there's so many nice little moments in the movie. Like just the first time they do see, they get there and they, they're taken back by everything. You hear the music.
Laura Dern sitting there, mesmerized by a plant.
Yeah,
that's been extinct.
Yeah, like, and there's like a few things in there, like there's just the lawyers that are and all the business people that are just worried about making the money, and then it's like, well, hold on a second, let's realize what we're doing here. Like let's think about what's happening right now. And yeah, I don't know. Jeff Goldblum probably is like the best character to come out of those movies. Like I don't know, he's so good in them. But like I don't know, you have Samuel L. Jackson in there.
Yeah, he's got a little role. He's a computer hacker.
Yeah.
The computer graphics in this movie are fucking hilarious. Might be the only thing about this movie that hasn't aged well.
That's true. Yeah, it had to look somewhat futuristic, and they tried. A for effort, but
the idea that like files would literally be kept in different locations, like on a map, is hilarious.
Yep. Yeah, and like the password, it was like kind of in Superman Returns, like when Lois was like shaking her finger, like when they put in the wrong passwords, like it was done in Jurassic Park too. I think it was like that was the callback they were making, was like to this guy. Or no, that wasn't Samuel L. Jackson. That was
Wayne Knight.
Yeah, the guy who died funny. Yeah. That was his computer. But I don't know, just a classic. Spielberg is just, he knows how to make a movie. This dude is just a classic, right? Like, I don't know, he writes classics quite often, it seems.
He's got it on him.
I don't know how he does it, but yeah, he's done it multiple times.
Oh, 100%. My 33, I'm gonna stick with you. This is where I have Spielberg as well.
Oh man,
Spielberg.
going off
This
in
is
this
where I
episode.
also have my the top 2 Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1989, directed by Steven Spielberg. You got Sean Connery as Henry Jones, Indiana Jones's father. This one actually has Grand Maester Pycelle is in this one.
Okay.
He's the Nazi bad guy in this one.
I'll never see Pycelle the same. Now that I know that.
He's seeking eternal youth, They're after the Holy Grail, which is supposed to fix any ailment. It's
okay.
you're supposed to live forever if you continue to drink out of the Holy Grail. And yeah, that's like, I love the different, like, this is what we're looking for in this Indiana Jones movie. That's always super fucking cool. And first one had the Ark of the Covenant. This has the Holy Grail, and it gets pretty fantastical, which I adore. Indiana Jones is being Indiana Jones as fuck. It's a beautiful movie visually. There is an argument to be had that this is the best Indiana Jones movie, to be sure. I think emotionally it explores Indy a bit more, because you have his father involved, and the kind of the moments they have, where you kind of see where Indy gets it from and where he's decided he's going to be a different person than his dad. So he's the opposite from him in other ways. And it's just a brilliant movie, man. And
I have seen one scene from this. That I remember. One scene, it's probably really late into the movie. I don't know. But it's whenever there's some Nazis in a tank, and they have, I think it's his dad. I think that's Sean Connery in there in the tank, and they're like, I don't know if they just have him hostage or what, or they're taking him somewhere. But he's like holding on to the tank, fighting Nazis up top. Trucks coming up, he's fighting them off. He sticks like something in the barrel of like the tank, makes it go kaboom, and then like eventually, I don't know, they think like he falls, but then he's like, hey, what are you guys looking at, or whatever, and that's it. That's where it stops.
It's pretty late in the movie. That's towards the end, to be sure.
Okay.
But Marcus Brody. There's one of the best smash cuts of all time in this movie, where Indiana Jones is handed a map to the Holy Grail off to his confidant and his dad's friend, Marcus Brody.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus Brody's kind of a ditz, kind of a dumbass. But he tells the Nazis, like, Marcus Brody has friends in every country on this planet. He will blend in. He knows 12 different languages. He is a genius, and he will get by just fine. If he got a head start, you'll never find him. And then it smash cuts to Marcus Brody in like a different country going, hello, does anybody speak English? Hello, please. And it's just so funny to see that, man. Like, there's a bunch of great gags in this movie. There's one where Sean Connery and Harrison Ford are tied up in chairs back to back, and one of them knocks over a lantern and sets the room on fire, but because they're like trying to get out, and then they just move into the fireplace to try to get away, and the fireplace is actually like a secret door, and like on the other side it like twirls, and there's Nazis on the other side of the room, so they go in there, they're like, they just kind of sit there for a second. Just super funny shit, man. Just a funny fucking movie, a good fucking movie. Emotionally, probably the most they ever explore Indiana Jones in the first 3 of those films. I love it, man. I love this movie with all my heart. And Sean Connery and Harrison Ford, like, what more do you want? It has a brilliant opening sequence with River Phoenix, who is Joaquin Phoenix's his brother, passed away a long time ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like the next great actor, and he died like sadly young. He was supposed to be just the next it man. He plays young Indiana Jones in the first sequence of this movie, and it does the trope where it's like, oh, how did all these things end up, like how he's afraid of snakes. It shows how he became afraid of snakes, and it shows how he got a whip and how he got a fedora and all that cheesy shit. But they pull it off better than like anyone ever has, and that's I love The Last Crusade, and I always will. So I have it here at 33.
Okay. Well, moving on is the movie I've watched most recently in my life. I did a rewatch for it for this one, and it was, I don't know, it kind of just stayed where it was, pretty much. It didn't really rise or fall. It was just, no, this is where the movie belongs, and quite a weird one, that's for sure. It is strange as hell, but was on our 52-year journey. This is Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. That came out in 1971. And I remember when we got to it, I was like, what? Like, at the beginning, I'm like, what am I watching? And that's like, it kind of goes for a lot of Kubrick's movies. Like,
Ready for a little bit of ultra violence?
Yeah, and like the language they use is so off. Like
the
on the vidi, when you vidi, so many words that are just not English or not even anything. It's just made up, like for the movie. And it's just what you're thinking, like, what the fuck am I watching here? Like, what's going on? Like 2001 will come up a little later in mine. It's like the same way. Like, you start the movie, you're like, what the hell?
This is not what I expected.
2001, A Space Odyssey. You see you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then it all eventually, goes somewhere, and yet there's something to be learned. But yeah, this movie, upon first watch, I'm like, it did not go the direction I thought it was going to go whatsoever, even close. But just kind of a big, just like prison, and like if it's like the goods, the bads, all the ins and outs of rehabilitation, everything like that, and then also like this, new medical treatment for prisoners, and then it turns into like, oh, now we're trying to have them just like kind of kill themselves, but we're gonna hide that, and then I don't know. There's just a whole lot that goes on in this movie that is
for sure.
It goes crazy at the end, and
I've only seen it the once for the 52-year journey through film. It doesn't inspire a great deal of like, oh, well, I gotta watch that again. But it does. It sticks with you so profoundly that like I remember that movie like vividly.
Yeah.
Like, and I watched it the once.
The theme too, just like the synth, just the I don't know. It's just I love the
heading
theme.
Down to the milk bar.
Yeah, and like just what the fuck? Like so many weird things happen in this movie. The old yoga Prowse. Lady. Yeah, is he?
He's the big bodybuilder. He also played Darth Vader.
Okay, yeah,
in the suit,
carries around the wheelchair guy. Yeah, like,
well, and how the wheelchair guy got in the wheelchair, like, oh my god,
that's him.
Like,
yeah, that's what, and like he doesn't realize it's him.
That's the thing I can't remember.
Beethoven's Ninth. Singing in the Rain. He's in the bathroom.
Yeah, okay.
And he's singing it, and he goes, and he's like outside the bathroom door, like holy fuck, like he's like spazzing out because like he's realizing. Like he thought he knew him, and he knew him from like the papers and the new technique and everything. But then it wasn't until he heard him sing that he was like, "No fucking way!" He was like, "No shot." And it's like, it isn't like even after prison, like even that's just 2 years he was in prison for. But even after just those 2 years, like how the world is just not going to accept him, like no matter what like happens, like after, like when he comes, it's already a different world almost for him. And like his parents have already, had like a new replacement. There's like the guy that moved in, and he's like, yeah, I'm more of a son to them than you have ever been, and everything. So like he's already been replaced there. And then like his droogs, or whatever. Like they're cops now, and they catch him and then almost kill him. They take him into the woods and almost fucking kill him.
Whenever he like rocks their shit with his cane and pushes them in the water and all that, very memorable. Like it's just a very, very memorable movie. It sticks with you like a motherfucker. And Malcolm McDowell, his performance of Alex that's his name, right? Malcolm McDowell. A brilliant performance. Deeply influential on just I'd say this went on to influence like Robert De Niro's Travis Bickle and The Taxi Driver. You know, like even the movie I watched today, The Master. Joaquin Phoenix's performance in that, like all I could keep thinking about. Wow, this Paul Thomas Anderson must enjoy A Clockwork Orange. You know, it kind of has that. It has that vibe to it as far as the performance of Joaquin Phoenix anyway.
Yes, and like now that I've watched it, like yeah, I don't think like I'm not itching for another watch again. It's just kind of like, man, that like holy shit. Like watching it again, I'm like, wow, what a unique movie. Like it's just there's nothing else quite like it at all.
No.
And I love like that it is unique. Soundtrack is so good on it as well. It builds like this dystopian world that seems so unreachable, but then it gets a lot more real. You know, as like the movie goes on, it's at first it seems like I don't know, like it couldn't be our world that we live in. Like a little bit, like there's some similarities, but it seemed like it's still some fantasy-esque kind of movie. But then as the movie goes on, it's like, okay, no, this is more and more real. It's just kind of like how they saw the world, like as just ultra violent, like just I don't know, menaces to society. They just go around
like trying to paint this picture of like a dystopian future England and just like shooting it in London. Just like shooting it in the streets.
That is a real place. Yeah. Oh,
he was like, imagine a place so deeply fucked up that it looks like London right now.
That it looks exactly like a place on Earth where millions of people live. Yeah, that's perfect. I don't know, because it doesn't make you feel good at the end. Like there's nothing that's like, oh, what a happy ending this is.
In fact, it's kind of like, oh, well, Alex is going to be back on his bullshit, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I don't know, just a roller coaster of a movie. And
that's an insane one. How long is it?
Yeah. It is 2 hours and 16 minutes.
I couldn't remember how long it was. That sounds about right.
Yeah, and it's, man, I don't know. You kind of think you're at the end of the movie like a lot of the time. Like near the end, it's like, oh, what the heck could be next? Like,
how could we possibly keep doing this? No, I fully get you though. That's
might just have to take a little pause. Getting a call from Mom. They're in Italy now, so I'll be a second.
Do you think? Singing in the rain. Everybody, this is not a drill. I don't know, man. I'm big. Took an edible towards the beginning of the podcast, and it is kicked in. I actually, ironically enough, I took the edible when we were talking about Wolf of Wall Street. So maybe it does do a little bit of glorification, a little bit more than I'd like to admit. Because I was like, we were talking about drugs and drugs this and drugs that. And I was like, well, I got drugs right here. Why not just take drugs right now? Nothing crazy. It was a 5 milligram edible, guys. Don't judge me. I'm not going off the deep end. I'm not down in Quaaludes. I'm not snorting coke. All the power to you if you do those things, you know. But not my bag. Not my bag. Nah. We'd be the only lady for me. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Joe doesn't even have his headset on right now. He's got his shit on mute. He can't hear me. He's on the phone with somebody, and I'm just talking, and I can tell he wants to know what I'm saying. He keeps looking at me, and he might think that I think he can hear me. I know he can't hear me though, you know. I know he can. And that makes this even funnier. Because I can really tell he thinks I think he's hearing me. Hey, pay your actors and writers, you fuck boys at the studios. I don't get it. I don't get why that's so fucking difficult. Everybody just deserves to get compensated for working. If you do a job, you should be paid for that job and properly. And if you're not, then fucking strike. That's the just too. Fuck these studios thinking they're entitled to these people's money, bro. I promise, Bob Iger doesn't need another $26 million. You know what I'm saying? David Zaslav does not need his $15 million bonus. He doesn't. He doesn't need that. Especially not the bonuses, bro. What the fuck we talking about? Bonuses, dude. The fuck are we doing here? See, guys, this is what happens whenever Joe, this is more a natural state. This is why having a topic we focus on is extremely important. Because I don't know, when I'm by myself, I do this little whisper voice. You know, it's not like I'm not really whispering, but it's quieter. Oh, it's quieter. Just doesn't seem difficult to pay your actors and writers, though. Like, if somebody's doing a job for you, and they're like, yo, I think I should be paid more. And they give you a bunch of reasons why. And it's like, well, you know, I'm not getting paid for the work that I do. Y'all keep putting my shit out there and people are watching it, but I'm not seeing any of the dividends from that watching. Instead, you're just getting all the money for the shit that I worked on. And, you know, I don't think that's exactly fair. To disagree with that logic, you have to be something of a fuck, an absolute loser, a huge piece of shit, just a garbage person, you know? And there's no two ways about it. You want to debate? No. I don't want to debate. I'm just letting you know that if you think the WGA and SAG-AFTRA are in the wrong right now, you suck. Fuck you. It's the bottom line. Oh. Is the boy back?
I'm back?
Oh, he's
Sorry.
back.
I was
No, I talked for pretty much the entire time.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw you were talking. I was just wondering
No.
what was going on. If I was missing
I don't
out.
know how much of it I'll cut, or if I'll cut any of it. I went on some good tangents there. I'll probably keep some of it in.
Okay.
No, but we left off with your 32, A Clockwork Orange, right?
Mm-hmm. That is right. I think that's the last one I have in the list here.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
This 32 is where I have my top 2 2023 movie.
Okay.
This is at second in the top in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I have Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, 2023.
Okay.
This was at 80.
Whoa.
This was at 80 after one watch.
What?
And then I went and saw it a second time, and it shot up my list to 32. You know,
Wow.
this is one that actually does make me cry, and actually does affect me in a deeply I was so fascinated by this movie. I read the entirety of American Prometheus after having watched this, the 700-page book about the life of Robert Oppenheimer. Just a fascinating figure, expertly performed by Cillian Murphy, and brilliantly adapted by Christopher Nolan. I will be astonished if, I guess we got Killers of the Flower Moon later this year. But as of right now, that is what should win Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars. You know, we'll see based off Killers of the Flower Moon. But
I haven't even read what it was based off of, but man, just seen it. I've only seen it that one time, and like I did have a moment where I was about to download it, a copy of it, but it would be it'd be some, someone just filming the screen. I'm like, no, I don't know. This feels wrong.
I saw it. We saw it in. Yeah, we saw it in 70 millimeter, which was very, very cool. What a beautiful way to see a movie. It just felt so raw and lovely. I went back and saw it in IMAX the next time.
Yeah.
It was a late night showing. It was me, Emily, and like 4 other people in the IMAX theater, and they were nowhere near us, so we might as well have been by ourselves.
That's nice.
I mean, just after having seen it 70 millimeter, I'd contemplated whether or not it really needed IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, I mean, obviously it'd be cool to see this on the big, like a big fucking entire wall worth of a screen. Of course, I think that'd be cool for most movies. You should go see Oppenheimer in IMAX though. Like it's an astonishingly well made movie, you know, and the scale of it and like one of the quickest 3-hour movies of all time.
Yeah. It did not feel like 3 hours in there. That's
I mean, this is my 3rd 3-hour movie of the episode with The Wolf of Wall Street and The Godfather. It's easily the fastest of those 3 and might not be the most entertaining, easily the most interesting, you know?
Yeah. No, it's insane. I still have only seen it that one time, but it has still not really left my mind. Like, there's always, like, random thoughts I'll have that just go back to that. Like, the little ripple effects, you know, him just staring in the pond. Like, you know, it's like, if it's ever raining and I'm never going to see little ripples the same ever again, you know?
Never
like
again.
Yeah, and just the soundtrack, too, is just so good.
Ludwig went in, man.
Oh, my God. Can you hear the music? Is just, like... so good on that soundtrack.
It's so good.
It's just,
and like the second time around, I got to appreciate, you know, like so much more of the movie sticks with you, you know, because I mean, like the first time you see it, you're really excited. It's 3 hours. There's stuff that slips through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Blunt is fucking perfect in this movie, like astonishingly good. Florence Pugh is so fucking good, and you know, first time I watch it. Doesn't make me cry. Second time I watch it makes me fucking sob, you know, and that's just like, I don't know what I think it was just the engrossment I had in it the first time where I didn't let myself feel or like express my emotions that way so that I could pay attention better. Matt Damon, I already appreciated him, and he's still fucking brilliant. Cillian Murphy, so goddamn good. I did not realize just steadying of a force Tom Conti's Albert Einstein is in this fucking movie, man. He's not there all the time, but he pops up in like increments of like every 30 minutes. We're checking in with Einstein, you know.
Gotta check in with the GOAT, you know. It's like let's talk to the top dog, you know.
Dude.
Let's just run it by the current GOAT.
Well, and one of my favorite moments that has become very notorious in recent weeks because of how funny it is whenever Oppenheimer walks a colleague out to a taxi, and when the taxi pulls off, Albert Einstein just emerges from the shadows and starts talking.
Man, I've seen this like over like people talking about how it's like almost like a comic book entrance for like Albert Einstein, like kind of like a Batman-esque.
It didn't stick out to me the first time.
It didn't. Yeah, I can't remember it. Like I'm like I wish like I want this visual in my head of just Einstein just popping out.
And then like once you go into it thinking that, it's extremely fucking funny. You know, like he like the car pulls off. And he's just like, he's behind the car and just like walks towards Oppie. And like, there's no reason for him to be like, you don't even know what the fucking, but this is why it's awesome. After reading American Prometheus, they got to that part in the book and the guy Oppie was walking out to the taxi described Einstein as having appeared as though from nowhere. Like, that's not just a choice Nolan made. You know, someone went like, Albert Einstein appeared as if from nowhere. Like he just happened upon Oppie that night. Like, and that just kind of blew my fucking mind when I got to that part in the book. It made me laugh out loud. It kind of made me cackle. I was like, oh my God.
And Nolan's like,
Einstein was just like that. He was Batman.
Make him appear out of nowhere. Let's just give him, a Batman ass entrance. He just he's behind the taxi. Who
He does
knows
the
if
best
it was
thing
there
ever with that.
long before or just happened? Yeah, I
Could have
don't
been
know.
waiting. I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows.
No,
And
it's
I
a brilliant movie. Yeah, I don't know.
it's
I have it even higher on mine. Like
oh, dude,
already.
and I think it only has the capacity to climb. It's probably this might be my highest biopic. I can't imagine there's one higher. Yeah, no, this is definitely my highest biopic. It looks like it's my highest nonfiction movie as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is. It's for
I'd
me.
say it is for me as well.
I have some semi-autobiographical movies coming up, but they're not like this is based in history. This happened, like this is the highest for me in that regard, and it's because it is so. I mean, I could watch, compared to Godfather, another 3-hour movie where I was like, I don't have a compulsion to revisit it. I know the movie.
I have a compulsion.
I will watch Oppenheimer over and over and over and over, and it has this. It has one of my favorite scenes of the year with his speech that he gives after.
Is there an award for that? Like just best scene of the year? I don't know. Is there like an award that? Because man, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, very open-ended kind of award there, but I don't know.
They would probably break it up into like drama, comedy, action. Like you'd have to really get creative there. But it's magnificent what Nolan was able to achieve, and if I'm honest with myself, I think it has the capacity to surpass Interstellar as my favorite. I have Interstellar later on the list. I'm
pretty comfortable in that. In that sense, I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't think
Interstellar affects me more deeply on an emotional level, but I think Oppenheimer is visually a different animal. I think it is I think it is easily his best movie. It might not be my favorite of his, but I don't think there's even another movie well made as this one.
Kind of, yeah. No, Dunkirk is.
It's technically awesome.
But it's
like
not,
sound design, visual effects, like that's like same with Tenet. Like there's all sorts of stuff that's like, oh, this was really interestingly well done or cool or whatever. All around, there's not a single movie he's done Oppenheimer, and I think I'm confident in that.
I don't know. I need that like digital release, but maybe if it's still in IMAX, maybe I get it.
It probably is. No, that's one of those ones where as soon as it's got a physical release, I'm buying that Blu-ray or 4K. I'm getting that shit.
Yeah. No, is there a release date for that at all?
Not sure. I know Barbie's is in January.
Yeah, they pushed that back. October 2023, I guess, is when it will be available in digital, Amazon Video, and iTunes. DVD. There's no official. There's no official release date for DVD Blu-ray, but the release date for streaming, I guess, is October 2023. But usually they're around the same time, aren't they? Like they just kind of drop together. Usually, what I thought.
Sometimes, yeah. Close.
Okay.
I wonder how much the strike is going to affect the way they choose to do that, though.
Yeah, because that is like actually buying, like literally, like giving. Well,
you might want to stretch that as much as they can.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, regardless, I love Oppenheimer. I think it only has the capacity to go. I can't imagine. I mean, obviously, I could watch new movies that I like more than it, but as far as what's below it, I'm confident I will never like those movies as much as I like Oppenheimer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I don't know. I do have Oppenheimer already pretty high on mine, and it was could be recency bias, but man, I don't know. That was just.
I mean, it's been a while since you watched it now.
Yeah, I know. It has been a while, and I don't know, but it's already up. It's already up pretty high. So I mean, next episode, but like the very, very tippy top of next episode. For me right now, and like I don't know. It was incredible. It did like it. I think you're right, and like it's undoubtedly his best overall movie that he's made. Like it's. Like Interstellar has some things that are just I don't know. I do see how some people like wouldn't like Interstellar as much, but I think like Oppenheimer is more.
I mean, astonishingly, I think it's an easier view than Interstellar. I think it's quicker. I think it goes by you a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right there.
And it's about 15 minutes longer.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I'd say it's just the pace of it is very consistent in Oppenheimer. But then like Interstellar, it's kind of slow, and then like boom. Then everything just speeds up and goes nuts at the end. And then like it's very fast. But I feel like Oppenheimer's more kind of just like it's always kind of moving at the same pace.
Masterfully edited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, just a great fucking movie.
Okay. Well, we got some great directors in this episode.
Yeah,
that's for sure. I'm moving on to. This feels wrong, but I think it's right. I don't know. I think it's right. I've only seen it once. I probably should revisit it again. But this is my last Gerwig movie that I have. This is the tippy top of Gerwig. This is where I have Little Women, 2019 for me. And this, I don't know, I guess just like Oppenheimer, this is a single watch, and from that single watch, I was blown away, and my expectations were absolutely blown out of the water. I did not expect this movie. I don't know. I expected out of the Gerwig movies, I expected this to be like the boring one, and like I don't know. We'll just get. I don't know. Like it just seemed. Yeah, we'll get to this one, but we're really excited for Lady Bird, and then obviously Barbie because that's hype. Barbie's hype. But then I come out and I'm like, wait a minute, like this is like the best. This is like so good. Like what? Like why wasn't this known to be such a good movie? Like I don't know. I feel like I should have heard more about this.
No, I agree. This is I was talking about how Oppenheimer definitely is going to win or should win adapted screenplay this year. If Little Women didn't win adapted screenplay, that's fucking ridiculous. This shit was incredible.
Did it? It did win one Oscar. Let's see what it
I'll be astonished if it's not adapted
always
screenplay.
Takes its time. Nominee, winner.
Costume
nominee, yes, costume. It won costume design, nominated for adapted screenplay. What else?
I gotta know.
What
I gotta know what won that.
What else?
Probably
adapted Jojo Rabbit.
Taika Waititi, son of a bitch.
Yep. That one. Joker was also nominated. The Irishman, The Two Popes, and then Little Women for adapted screenplay. Jojo Rabbit. Never seen Jojo Rabbit.
I didn't know that was an adapted screenplay.
I guess so. Yeah.
We've actually covered it on this podcast very early on. I think it was in the episodes. It was like in the 40s or something, like 30s even.
Before my time. Yes. That is way before my time. But wow, that is blasphemy though. I don't agree.
No, I don't either. It did deserve that costume design win.
Maybe Jojo Rabbit is cool, but no, yeah, Timothy Chalamet's outfits too. Like I don't know, like everyone was looking.
Everyone's looking fine.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just a movie that hit me out of nowhere.
Ronan is wonderful.
Everyone, like, yeah, they actually feel like sisters too. Like in the little fights they have, the little discourses they have, like it feels like a real family. And man, just that, what was her name? The sister that passed away. way, like that did end up like getting sick and dying. What was her name? Beth, maybe.
Mhm.
I think it might have been Beth. Yeah, like that little like the just
Yeah,
how it was played, like the back and forth going from
dude.
happy memories, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, everything is great. Like I'm like, oh, I'm fine, everything's gonna be great, it's all good, and then the wake up of reality, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, like no, I'm not okay with this. Oh, that scene just blew me away, and just I don't know, just another of a movie where you go in with low expectations or not really much expectations, and that's kind of the best way to enter any movie.
Oh yeah.
It also helps if the movie's just also made incredibly well, and like it's just
Greta, man,
like
she is
yeah.
she is masterful. I've still got 2 Gretas left. I've got Lady Bird and Little Women left to
Mm-hmm.
go.
Mm-hmm.
This marks another one of those movies that'll occur later on
Okay.
than I've already had it. But yeah, man, I love Little Women. It's a wonderful movie, and it's one I've only watched once. I need to watch it again, and I probably
Yeah.
will here before long.
Yeah.
Whenever we're coming up on these next couple episodes, I'm like trying to watch. Like after this week, I might watch 30 movies in the next couple weeks. You know what I'm
Every
saying?
single one.
Yeah.
Getting them all done. I mean, not a bad idea. Do got the fort. I'm holding down the fort. I got a lot of time on my hands. Maybe I spend a little less on the video games, a little more movie watching, and get them all down.
And it's fun, man. And these are they're my favorite movies of all time. Of course, I feel like rewatching them at any given point. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Like that's
Yeah. It's not like, oh man, this movie. There's none of that. None
I'm
of that.
getting out ahead of the curve too. Like I've already watched a
Mm.
few that I have top 30 just to be like,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
And a few that were in this episode that have found their way into the top 30. And that
Mhm.
only happened to 2 movies, and it affected these last 2 that I have here.
Okay.
At 32, amen. This is one of those ones where I was like, I know that if I rewatch it, it will go up the list.
Okay.
I know it will get its love. I know it's okay right here.
Mm.
32 or 31, right?
31. Yeah.
31 is where I have The Shawshank Redemption, directed by Frank Darabont, released in 1994. Hey,
Mhm.
I know. I'm aware. I know what's happening here. Yeah, no, this is one that I am perfectly okay having let lie. I know it would be top 15 if I gave it another viewing. I don't want to sell it short. I know it would. I've watched it twice. They were both right when we were doing the 52-year journey through film, and I've never watched it since. I didn't watch it before. So it's been a couple of years since I watched it, which is kind of wild to think about. I mean, year and a half probably.
It's a sign of a good movie if you have to defend why it is down.
Yeah,
like
no, it's a brilliant fucking movie. Why it's down at 31?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's I put down in air quotes. Like it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and there's no doubt about it. And the most astonishing thing is that it's not 30. In this episode, it's not even the top one in this episode. What do you mean? And that's another one that I will feel the need to go. If I rewatched it more recently, it would probably be higher.
It shall get its flowers.
I knew it would. I knew it would.
It definitely will. That's without a doubt.
I mean,
I don't know. I remember. Oh, come on, Red.
Tim Robbins, Clancy Brown. My God,
Andy Dufresne. Yeah, Andy Dufresne in Red. Andy Dufresne. Yeah, like oh my God, yeah, Morgan Freeman in any role is automatically iconic.
Dude, he's brilliant in this movie too.
I remember we were doing the movies for '94. We had that was the week long of '94. And we were debating, like I think it was Forrest Gump at the Friday movie initially because you hadn't seen Shawshank or whatever. And I'm like, oh well, I was like, I probably Shawshank, but I do like Forrest Gump, and it is that is a classic, you know. And then I think after you watch it, you're like, I think that should have definitely been the Friday movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
And like, I don't know, it's just like an ending that's, you watch it for the first time and you're like, oh, this motherfucker, like what Andy Dufresne, you know, it is like,
Andy
man,
Dufresne. Meet me
like,
in Zihuatanejo. I feel this feeling that only a free man can feel. Dude, yeah, like it's one that makes me, just destroys me. Like I sob my fucking ass off in this movie. And there's one part in particular where there's a reason, you know. Brooks. Oh, was he here? You know?
Man, yeah. I was talking about how Alex in A Clockwork Orange couldn't adjust to the world, you know, after 2 years, but
Oh man.
yeah, I think
Bro
it
went
was
away
a
before there
little
were
bit.
cars.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a completely different world. Yeah, that's way different. Way different there. But yeah, this is a beautiful movie, man. I don't know. It's just special. And I mean, I got
That's why I'm like, I got it at 31. It would be higher if I watched it last night. You know, if I watched it within the last year and a half, this would be higher than 31. I guarantee it.
Yeah, let's see. It is 9.3 on IMDb, number 56. And it went down 4 spots, I guess, right now. Recently.
It's on a low streak.
Yeah. So 52 to 56 of all time. So, I mean, hey, even higher than what the world gives it. So, like, maybe not even down there, you know? Like, this, it's already in the 50s in the world. I expected it to be a little higher. But, I mean, I guess there is a lot more movies.
There's a lot of movies.
When I do think about it. But yeah, this will be in a couple episodes. It'll be in a little bit. It'll be in a little bit. I love this. I don't know. I love this movie. This is out of my top 10. This was the one that I'm like, I think this is the one I'm rewatching out of all of them. I feel really it's, I don't know, probably.
No, that's been one thing about this episode that I'm very happy with, is seeing how opposite our lists are.
Yeah.
You've already said a couple that are not till the end.
Yep.
For me.
Yeah.
And I love knowing that. That makes me very happy. And yeah, man, The Shawshank Redemption, it was one that I was comfortable every time I'd watch something and go, this one needs to go up. It was one that I was like, I know Joe's going to have this in a good spot. I don't need to worry about it much. This is fine.
It is getting its flowers, and that will be for sure.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah.
How about you topped off here at 30?
Man, another we got a lot of big name directors in this one. I'm going to, I believe, my top Tarantino, I think. I'm pretty confident there's not a Tarantino after this. And just doing a quick check. Yeah, no, this is my top Tarantino, and it's already been said. But it's Kill Bill Volume 1 for me, and it's just I haven't quite seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It seems that one would be up there, along with this if I have seen it. So I'm waiting to get to that, but no, I love Kill Bill, and like Volume 1 and 2, it's just like, it's such a fun ride. Beatrix Kiddo is just so badass, and it's like, it's just funny, but like also taken seriously, like at the same time. Like it's pretty like taken seriously, but there's just some funny ass moments in
there's
there.
some campy shit in that movie.
Yeah, and like just all the like it seems like every time like Beatrix squares off with somebody, like it's always like an anime battle almost. Like it's like I don't know, like, or you could see it like right out of a comic book, sort of thing. And yeah, I don't know. It's so fun. Like the yellow jumpsuits. I don't know, or this yellow suit is so clean. The sword maker Hikaru, or is it like a
Hanzo?
Yeah, Tori Hanzo blade. You know, is like just he's undeniably the goat of sword making. Yeah, and she gives him like the was it like the Yellow Mamba or like something? Because I think like Kobe
Black
Bryant
Mamba.
legitimately like this is like I don't know. Like didn't we look it up and like he like this is where he got it from? He's like,
he didn't
Mamba
start
mentality.
using that nickname until 2003 or 4, right after Kill Bill came out.
Like that's pretty fucking sick. Like that is amazing. And yeah, I don't know. It's just
I mean, like you were speaking to that funny shit, man. That moment whenever Uma Beatrix is like, I'm looking to kill a man, and I need your sword to do it. And he's like, I've retired, I won't do it. And she goes, this is for one particular man who I know you'll be okay with. And he just like slowly walks over to the window and then like scrawls it in the fog. And it's Bill.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's so ridiculous. But I love it. I love it so much. And it's I think I had this in the did I have this in the 40s?
45. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not too long ago. Not particularly close, but not too long ago.
15 spots. Yeah, not too big of a gap.
Close in the grand scheme of things. Man, I love that movie. And it's one that I'll rewatch again and again and again and again. It's so fucking good. But yeah, good way to top off the week.
A lot of directors. Got a Tarantino, Gerwig, Spielberg, another
Nolan.
Spielberg, another Nolan. Yeah, Nolan.
Sidney Lumet, Scorsese. That was a goodie. But I will top off this week with the second Peter Weir of the episode. 30 is where I have 1998's The Truman Show.
Another one that will get a lot of love later on.
That's why I was like, this is I said it. This is the other one where I'm like, if I'd rewatched it. This one I actually did rewatch about 4 or 5 months ago. It was not nearly as long a break as The Shawshank Redemption. And I love this movie, man. I really, really do. Jim Carrey is magnificent in it. There's so much to enjoy about it. Ed Harris is fantastic in it. I'll never tire of this movie. I've watched it so many times. It makes me cry every time. And it will make me cry more. Just love it so much. And
it was an instant favorite for me. I remember finally it was 52-year journey. That's the first time I've seen it. And I'm like, oh my God, how is it taking me this long to see this movie? And it was instant favorite. And yeah, it'll be a little later on. We'll hear about it again in a little bit. And that's, man, I don't know that I remember just watching it for the first time, and it was, I don't know, it was just like a movie that I knew it was already we were talking about you give that movie you watch a movie, you end it, and that's a top 10 movie that I've I don't know, my whole life, and that was the instant feeling. For me, it was oh my God, yeah, this is. It checked all the boxes. It clicked, it just clicked everywhere.
Yeah, when they do, man, it feels good. You watch a movie and you go, that's exactly what I want in movies. You know, it's so special. And this one does, it has that energy. It really does, you know. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Takes a little bow and walks out that door, man. I'm ecstatic.
What does the most famous man in the world do from that point on? You know?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Everyone moved on kind of quick, but no one forgets that face. You know, if he's anywhere.
He'll be famous. Truman Burbank, baby. Nah, man, I love that movie. And, end up falling at 30. But
I think that's probably the next poster that I get. I was wondering what's the next movie? That's a poster I keep coming back to a lot. And specifically the stairway one when he's walking up the stairs. In the, I don't know, just the blue, I don't know, painted sky, and you see the door, him going to the door. I love that one. But I don't know, a lot of good posters. Even the him on the billboard, on the building, is good. It's classic. But,
man. Yeah, there's a lot of, man. I just love these movies, man. And Truman
Yeah,
Show. That's how I'm topping this week off. That's how I'm
Yeah.
topping it off.
That's the last two there, last three, really. I got a lot higher, for on my list. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're up here though for you.
No, absolutely. No, I'm glad they're up here for you. You know, you said three that I'm gonna have in my later on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have them rather high,
Mm-hmm.
and I like knowing that 5 of the 20 movies that were stated will be much later in the episode or much later in the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But man, yeah, that brings us to the end of another one. Go ahead and run me 30 through 39 there.
All right. 30, Kill Bill Volume 1. 31, Little Women. 32, A Clockwork Orange. 33, Jurassic Park. 34, La La Land. 35, Bohemian Rhapsody. 36, The Book of Eli. 37, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. 38, The Prestige. And 39, Dead Poets Society.
At 30, I had The Truman Show. 31, I had The Shawshank Redemption. 32, Oppenheimer. 33, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. 34, Dog Day Afternoon. 35, 12 Angry Men. 36, Guardians of the Galaxy. 37, The Wolf of Wall Street. 38, Jurassic Park. And 39, The Godfather. And with that, we will conclude this episode of the Penny Bloom podcast. If you would, head to patreon.com/pennybbloompod, where we've officially started talking Ahsoka every Wednesday. We've already got, today's Wednesday, so there's probably going to be another episode up tonight of that one. So I'm very, very excited for that. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening, and to continue checking out the show. Continue downloading. It means the world. You know, this Friday we're heading to San Venganza with 2007's Ghost Rider. Got Nick Cage, Sam Elliott. Fun one there. And we talk about this Friday. We pick up Winter is Blooming next Monday. Took the week off. It was Labor Day. You know, celebrate the holiday. Take the day off. Sure, we'll say that. I just couldn't do it. I would have if I could have, but I couldn't. But we'll pick that up next Monday with season 5, episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
That is right.
Yeah. So sorry if you listen to the Ghost Rider episode and it's like, join us for season 5, episode 5. It will not be season 5, episode 5. It'll be season 5, episode 4. I already talked about this a little bit on our little break there. But remember to support SAG-AFTRA and the WGA and their struggle against the studios. It's ridiculous that they refuse to pay people for their labor. So, I don't know. Seems pretty simple to me. And I don't understand why you would think otherwise. We will continue the top 100 next week with the 20s and part 8. We're getting up there. We're almost done. In the 20s, I love even more than the 30s, and it's just going to keep going that way until we're done. So it's just a bunch of good shit. Yeah, man. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. We're starting our Scorsese spotlight in a month. So very excited for that. We've officially landed on Martin Scorsese, David Fincher, and Michael Mann as our next set of 3. You know, we did Wes Anderson, Christopher Nolan, and Greta Gerwig. Next set of 3 is Scorsese, Fincher, and Mann, and I'm very excited about that. There's a few movies sprinkled in between there and in there too that were hard to decide. You know, Yorgos Lanthimos has Poor Things coming out, which is getting some serious acclaim at Venice and Telluride. Like Emma Stone's getting like, oh, she might win another Oscar. Ferrari premiered, The Killer premiered, the movie Hitman, directed by Richard Linklater, premiered. There's a bunch of really good shit. May, December, Todd Haynes. We've just got a lot to look forward to before the end of the year, and I'm so very, very excited for it. But yeah, with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Steven Spielberg.